4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
It is Graham here, living the dream on Thursday, the 4th of July 2024. As if you hadn't guessed it from the introduction to one of my favourite movies of all time. Today is Independence Day. I've even got my Union flag shorts on today. Fiona says I must keep reminding people it's not the Union Jack because it's not on a boat. But looking at the size of me, I wonder sometimes. Right guys, we're just going to hang around Lake Wildwood today and enjoy the celebrations put on here for Independence Day.
Hi, I'm Graham, and this is my wife Fiona, and we have always had a work hard, play hard philosophy. From London to New York, and of course the Caribbean, we live our dream through travel. And of course, the odd cocktail. And here on YouTube, we create our memories while living our dream. So come and join us as we share our memories with you. A massive thank you to Brandon for some more drone footage. And Brandon and his family also live in Lake Wildwood, just across the lake from Daryl and Linda, who Fiona and I are staying with during this proportion of our big Pacific adventure. And we're going to be starting our 4th of July celebrations here at Lake Wildwood in one of the two parks in the community. But we're going to do it at ground level, where Daryl and Linda had been volunteered to run the popcorn machine during the morning part of the Independence Day celebrations here at Lake Wildwood. And when I say Daryl and Linda were volunteered, I really actually mean Linda and Fiona. And Linda and Fiona's first job this morning was to learn how to use the popcorn machine. And of course, being ladies, the RTFM'd, something Daryl and I would have avoided at all costs. And for those of you who know my wife, you will know that Fiona loves getting involved with the community. And what I will have to admit, guys, Lake Wildwood is a fantastic community with lots of events happening, especially here on Independence Day. So when I returned to the popcorn machine after watching a water skier on the lake, Linda and Fiona, I think, had managed to suss out the popcorn machine.
I want to make a display.
And with Linda showing her husband what to do, all was well in the world. Well, at the Lake Wildwood lakefront and the popcorn machine, because let's face it guys, Daryl wasn't going to do anything. So in true CEO fashion, Daryl sat down and got comfortable to watch the water skiers. And back at the popcorn machine, Linda and Fiona were in full sales mode, morally supported by Daryl, of course, trying to encourage them to increase their quota. So with the popcorn flowing and Daryl's moral support, it was time to go and check out the dog parade. And just as we thought everything was going swimmingly, PG&E had other ideas. So we're in Daryl's Dodge Ram. We've had to come back to the house. PG&E, which is Pacific Gas and Electric, have turned off the electricity. They can't cope with the heat and the number of air conditioning units on. So the electricity's off. 5 o'clock. We've picked up a generator. We're heading back to the garage now. As I said in the previous episode, when Fiona, Daryl, Linda and I went to Lake Tahoe, California was suffering one of the worst heat waves in decades. With very little investment in infrastructure, the local electricity company PG&E simply couldn't cope with the number of air conditioning units being run. so they'd be cutting electricity from time to time to try and keep the network alive. And this has become a major issue in this part of the world. In fact, the last time I visited Northern California on business, I think I'd been here 8 days but only had less than 3 days electricity during my entire trip. If the electricity isn't being shut off due to forest fires or potential forest fires, Pacific Gas and electricity do seem very quick to turn off the supply in days like this. In the end, the supply wasn't off too long. And with most houses in this area having either generators or solar power, it simply wasn't going to stop anyone enjoying their 4th of July celebrations. Daryl and Linda's house backs on to this lovely little cove off the main lake, and this is where we ended up spending the afternoon during this particular 4th of July celebrations in 2024. And back on ground level, we were trying to get a tan while rehydrating on beer, of course. But at roughly 83 degrees, the lake was incredibly inviting itself, and that is where we spent a lot of this particular 4th of July afternoon. It was such a beautiful afternoon and there was lots going on this particular 4th of July, so Lake Wildwood was calling. And it was therefore time for Daryl to get his pontoon boat out of storage and on to said lake.
I made it!
Grateful!
I'm helping!
Guys, living in a lake has got to be so much fun, and I really can see why so many of my colleagues have chosen this part of Northern California to make their home. Further down the cove, one of Daryl and Linda's neighbours were hosting a concert in their back garden. Or is it a backyard because we're here in the US? So a ton of the Lake Wildwood community made their way down and just floated, listening to the fantastic music being delivered by the live band.
I know, they're from Liverpool. Yeah. Go on, dance, Linda. You're going to be on YouTube in about 7 weeks.
Oh, great. I think we'll move somewhere by then.
Oh yeah, baby.
You enjoying yourself?
Oh yes, this is, I have to admit,
The life.
absolutely fantastic. Yeah. This is a totally different way of life.
Yep.
Loving it.
Over on the...
Loving it.
I think it is fair, guys, to say that Fiona was really loving Lake Wildwood. I know she loved California. And so was everyone else this afternoon, just floating in the lake, listening to fantastic live music. When the band took a break, Daryl decided this was a good time for us to go for a tour of the lake and see what everyone else was up to on this particular 4th of July. As we make our way out to the lake, it's probably a good time to tell you a little bit more about Lake Wildwood, which was originally designed, or as they called it in Wikipedia, laid out by a number of property developers in the 1960s. Lake Wildwood is a man-made lake, and it was created by damming a small tributary between Lance Lake and the Sturgeon River. Daryl was telling me that there are now circa 3,500 properties in the Lake Wildwood community, and in the 2010 census the population of Lake Wildwood was recorded at 4,991, and as you can see, it is an absolutely beautiful place to live. Around 90 minutes from Lake Tahoe and a little over 3 hours from San Francisco and the Bay Area. And it'll be interesting to see the results of the next census, because Daryl was also saying that a lot more families have moved up from the Bay Area to get away from overcrowding and expensive property. And who can blame anyone with this quality of life? Anyway, back on Daryl and Linda's dock, we prepared to enjoy the rest of our afternoon before a barbecue and then back on the boat to watch the Lake Wildwood fireworks. And with the sun beginning to set over Lake Wildwood on Thursday, the 4th of July 2024, it was time to head back out onto the boat and enjoy the Lake Wildwood firework display. And as we prepared to watch the fireworks, it will soon be time to bring this episode to an end. And in the next video, we will bring part 1 of our big Pacific adventure to a close, finishing off our trip here to Northern California. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to be notified when our next video is published.